I went ahead and started recording because I'm afraid I'll forget.
Okay.
So you can turn your camera off if you want. There you go.
Yeah.
There's a protest going on down here.
Oh, yeah. I heard.
Nobody yet.
Nobody yet.
And I just was.
Out of all the nights. Oh, you started recording. Never mind. Oh, out of all the nights, I have 3 meetings. Tampa Heights, West Tampa, that's gonna start soon. So I'll get through the presentation and log on to them. And then I have to physically go to Seminole Heights meeting. That starts at 7. So fun times.
I know Cedric was going to be at that meeting. So do we have the codes for the Fort Brooke parking garage?
Oh yeah. Let me see.
I forgot there's one member here that usually asks for the ticket.
Okay.
Hey.
You want me? I'm gonna send it to you. Let me see. Let me verify that this is it. For
Raj,
Brooke.
you need a code to get, are you in Fort Brooke?
I'm not allowed here.
Oh, okay, Raj, well,
Oh.
I mean,
No one else signed in.
Actually, she said something about parking 50 valid. I have to request it.
oh,
Oh,
okay,
But-
never
so
mind.
I think today, so it's the event rate
Well, hopefully nobody's in that garage.
in Fort Brooke.
Yeah, our committee, I mean.
Yeah, because she says that, just request it from the admin team so then they could give you, if you need a validation code, please email directly with the appointment date and time, number of vehicles and all of that.
Okay, so I don't have a code today then.
No.
Can you, yeah, thank you. So I did have 4, which is what I need confirmed.
Yeah,
David's on the way.
I'm sure it's just the traffic because it's really backed up for the hockey game.
Oh, okay, so. And then. Look at my little baby.
It's Taryn. I just joined online because I'm stuck in traffic also.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
I need this for tomorrow, actually. I actually have one that they give us. You could give it as a courtesy, being that we didn't request it. I'm gonna drop it in the chat for you, okay? But
Okay.
for some reason, I think the person has to do it first. Like,
Okay.
meaning they'll need to have this before they go to the kiosk and put this in and it'll print up. So it's probably too late at this point.
Okay.
What I would suggest for you to do, Courtney, is like send all the appointment times before, like to Taylor, because she's pretty good. Taylor's pretty good with getting things done quickly.
Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Slipped my mind. So we have 2 people in the room. I need 2 more.
Okie
But-
dokie.
So I know David's on his way,
I think Taryn says she's on her way.
but it doesn't count. Virtual doesn't count for quorum.
Oh, but she's on the way though.
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry.
Well, I guess find parking.
Courtney, I'll be pulling up in just a minute, so I'll be in there.
Okay, thank you.
Fort Brooke. But I've heard this hockey games, they have a event rate.
Yeah, just the entertainment here never stops.
At least it should be.
This will be a quick meeting.
Yep.
Because we only have me presenting and then she's got to scurry to another meeting right after ours. So.
Building? Are you doing anything now?
No, we're getting like pricing for remodeling it just to get it to like, I guess, occupiable. But we thought, so when we bought it, we bought it right after the 1 cent Charlie sales tax got approved. So we thought by now the trolley would be there and like the whole neighborhood would change. But then obviously that could overturn and then just nothing happened for whatever reason in the neighborhood. So there's just no market for it. What we're trying now.
So just build something that people show up, you know, like kind of dance. Especially if there's food.
Oh yeah, if you did that,
Yeah.
but then you have to like have all that cash to be able to do that because the bank won't give you a loan for it.
How do you get money? Is it from the annual bit? How do you-
There's nothing in Tampa. So that's the issue.
That is how you get money?
In what regard?
How do you get money to fund that?
Oh, that must be like. parking
We just need one
and
more.
stuff. Yeah,
So like. Random people with a lot of money.
it's both.
Well, said they were coming.
So I'm still waiting on Megan. Taryn's about to
We're
join
gonna
us.
do like an office for 3 hours and then try to do like a rooftop bar or a restaurant on top. So that's the goal. So that's what we're trying to price out right now. And then on Franklin Street, we should have a cocktail
There
bar
a
right
protest
there.
going on somewhere?
Yeah.
You wanna go watch it? It's just right over here.
Coffee shop used to be on Franklin Street.
That's protesting Trump,
Yeah.
ICE.
So that's basically next door. We'll be putting in a cocktail bar. It's probably like September, October they'll open.
Where foundation used to be?
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna be there?
Yeah.
Okay, what's it gonna be? I'm sorry, you just said it, cocktail bar.
Yeah, so they haven't like designed like what exactly it's gonna be, but it's like a music focused like lounge, but not like, but like this closest thing would be like Alter Ego in downtown.
I love that location. When foundation was there.
Yeah,
You know, people go in and then it went down and then tried.
and then they moved over to the church building
Yes.
for
now
a while.
you know,
Yeah,
okay, because I operated a cold pressed juice
Mhm.
and I've been having it like there and they're trying to put it there, but
the cooler
it's more not like the business is kept.
moving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so now it's here.
But it won't be the coffee shop anymore.
That's okay. Because people can mix cold pressed juice with alcohol.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So once it's all finalized, then like, they come up with their plan. Introduction to them. But that'll probably be 2 months before like they even figure out what they're doing. But then Hall and Franklin, I think they're trying to open end of March, that building. It's probably like April, but they're gonna be opening a lot quicker than,
It's like I'll see it. I'll leave it when I see it.
they're moving really fast with the construction. They're spending a lot. No. Oh, so Jamal used to own the home when he was the tenant there, but then during COVID, the property owner asked them to leave. And then somebody else was gonna move in, and then the building sold. So now it's just a group of local Tampa people. that are gonna be opening Sports bar, taco shop,
Right.
and then. in the
Oh my
taco
goodness,
shop,
it's like
they
after
got
work
speakeasy
traffic.
door, it
Game.
goes upstairs.
And there's a
to
protest.
I know, I know.
And then next to that, there's like a
No lack of
It's a-
entertainment.
Nope.
dance club. But they're. That's gonna bring that activity. At the neighborhood meetings, I think like once every 3 months.
So
That's the only thing. Do we have any?
Yeah, we have 4, those, others are coming, at least 1 or 2.
Very loud in here.
they are very energized.
Yes.
All right, I think we've 4, that's quorum.
Okay,
We're gonna open it up first, do the minutes and all that.
alrighty.
Call to order the meeting.
Yes.
Okay, it's 5:39. Call to order the January 20th 2026 Tampa Heights Riverfront CRA meeting. Paul. Karen's here. So. Yes.
Well, I think it's coming.
Megan.
He's not.
David. Who's on? Drew.
Yep.
Kelly. And Jan. Okay, any public comment? Nobody else online?
No, it's just the online right now.
Okay. And then do I have a motion or everyone had a chance to review the minutes in the last meeting?
I don't even remember what happened.
Were you here?
Says I was.
Oh.
I think we went through because we skipped the meeting last time. Or did I skip it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was Thursday.
So it was wayfinding and then also, mostly the wayfinding, I think, and then go do the budget.
Yep.
To approve. Do I have a motion to approve from anybody?
Motion to approve minutes.
Any discussion, questions? Vote to approve the November 2025 meeting minutes. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Now, beef parks.
All right, Beef, we're ready for you.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes,
I might have to,
this is also in your packets too.
hold on. Okay, so can you could still see it, right? So okay, so B Parks CRA Community Development Coordinator, and I'm coming tonight to actually officially present the Tampa CRA housing presentation that back in November I presented in front of the board. I haven't been to one of these meetings in a while. Being that, I oversee about 7 other locations, and one of the largest is East Tampa, so the bulk of our residential initiatives are there. But quickly, just for the individuals who didn't hear before, the initiatives that we have for our housing budget, they include our first initiative, which is housing rehab and renovation program, which is providing up to $100,000 per household to make repairs such as roofs, window upgrades, plumbing, structural upgrades, and a slew of other things. We have a process that we go out and do a scope, and then we write up a scope, and then we provide assistance to homeowners that fit under a certain income. Our second program is our down payment assistance program, where we could provide up to $50,000 worth of down payment assistance for individuals to purchase housing within one of the CRAs. And then our third program is our infill development program, which is flat out, we have land that we own, and we, through a request for proposal, put it out for the developer community to build affordable housing on that land. The fourth program we have is one that the board has asked us to look at and revamp, and then come back to them with a final process, which is called the Unit Creation and Conversion Program, which is what you'll see some feedback tonight. And then the last one is actually our strategic acquisition, which is what it says, us acquiring land within the CRA to build affordable housing. So some of the well, actually, one of the directives of the board was for us to launch a CRA housing survey, which went out to the community back in that September timeframe, and it was like September to about actually a full month, so the end of October. And then we went back to them November 13th to share some of the survey results. That did go out through our city channels and also our third-party communications arm to push it out to the community. Aside from just that survey, it's been well over a year that I have met with each individual CAC, depending on their budget and those initiatives, and kind of set some goals for our different programs. So it's been well over a year and a half worth of feedback that was collected to move forward with the creation of the programs. So just as I mentioned, the survey results go as follows. It had about 12 questions that related to certain housing needs, certain funding cycles, evaluation criteria, and community involvement in these projects, along with some additional input that we collected. And roughly around 90 responses was received from that survey. But as I mentioned, about a year and a half worth of feedback through various sources to collect information from the community. So number one question that was asked was, hey, what's the importance of the workforce housing in your area? Over 80% of those responses indicated strong support to address rising housing costs, neighborhood stability, and access to ownership and rental options. So as you can see there, that's very important for there to be workforce housing within each one of the CRAs. So I did launch a question about how the funding cycle structure, and this is just for unit creation and conversion. So for the unit creation and conversion program, which again is developer subsidy to certain developers that already own their land and want to build affordable housing on it. So the two questions that were posed was, as part of a formalized application cycle, should we have one or two funding cycles per fiscal year? And then the second follow-up question to the first was, if there is to have two funding cycles, should one be dedicated to larger scale developers, which is over 20 units, and one dedicated to smaller scale? So again, they did want us to outline opportunities for small scale developers, and they did support 2 application cycles per year. So as we dig further to the different housing types that we feel are most needed in your community, the first housing type was affordable homeownership opportunity. So just as the community responded, they're looking for homeownership opportunities, and the board is actually looking to fund those opportunities. So that's number one in the future projects that we pitch to the CRA. The second portion is workforce rental housing. Then it's the need for mixed income units. And then the fourth housing result was the family size unit. So seeing more of a 2 to 3 bedroom count rather than studios and 1 bedrooms. So just to give you a little bit of background right here on what options was available for people to choose from. Again, affordable multifamily rental units for below 80%, then affordable multifamily units for working families. So that's up to about 140% area median income. That's what AMI is. And then of course, affordable single family homes for purchase, senior housing, and then more so of those permanent supportive housing services, which are either special needs or formerly homeless population. So the board also wanted us to have a question in relation to, okay, once these applications come into our office, you know, how could we give them a fair rating and how could it be scored equally, right? So the question that was posed to the community was each CRA will have a 5-member selection committee, including representative from CRA staff and housing and community development staff. And in your opinion, which stakeholders or representatives should fill the remaining 3 seats? So again, predefine that it will be CRA presence, and HCD present, which is housing community development staff. But at this point, you know, the board wanted us to just be solely involved, so CRA staff. And then some suggested additional representatives on that 5-member committee is a CAC member. So they do want to see one individual from that specific CRA to sit on the committee. Either that be the chair or consensus amongst the CAC to vote a person to represent them. Second option is a subject matter professional, a developer, construction person, a finance person. The third, again, was a community stakeholder, whether that be a resident or basically a resident to sit on this committee, which again, the board preference is for professionals and maybe a representative from a CAC to sit on there. And then the other option was actually a community member, and that could be an organization or local business owner within that area. So some other feedback that was collected, it was other feedback was mentioned qualified developers to ensure that, you know, these homes or units are being built according to code. Number 2, to make the application process clear and simple. Again, that's why we're moving towards that standardized funding cycle process. The third option is, the third item that was feedback was collected was to develop a community land trust. That was something that, you know, the board hasn't supported in the past, but that is another affordable housing tool that can be used. And then other feedback collected included ensuring proper monitoring over the length of time for these projects. The city, the CRA is recommending 50 years worth of affordability, meaning that those units get preserved for a 50-year term to make sure that there's affordability units for years to come. And then the last one is making sure that we're keeping those developers accountable. So as we dive in further with the scoring criteria, the first option that is part of looking how we can score these projects is income. So income was the first category that we wanted to rank. And based off of that, the income priorities by ranked order, number 1, again, is serving that modern income household, that 50 to 80% area median income. What came in second was serving the lowest income households, which is at that 30% area median income. And then the last ranked option was serving workforce housing. So that's greater than 80% area median income and it goes up to 140% area median income. So the second area that they wanted us to poll was the developer experience. Again, the community wants to provide opportunities for small scale development as opposed to large scale development. So what came out of that is number 1 was supporting smaller scale developers under the 20 units. And then number 2, supporting developers with a strong experience / capacity, which is over 20 units again. And then the third one was supporting developers who have creative out of box projects, and also their experience in creating out-of-box projects, i.e. container homes, 3D printing, different type of ways of building affordable housing. Another option was another part of the polling that they wanted us to look at is project priorities. So again, project characteristics in rank order. Number one, again, ensuring that these projects are mixed income housing options. Again, as you know, we need the income to stimulate the economy, which brings in businesses, brings in new people into the area. So ensuring that there is a mixed income component. Also making sure that these projects are in close proximity to jobs and transportation. Number three, adding community serving spaces such as retail, green space, etc. And then number four, ensuring that there's energy efficient units in these projects. So they ranked it from most important to least important. So some emerging themes that we've seen with the survey was that the resident representation matters in project review. So the proposed solution to that is having representation on CRA selection committee. So again, that is done through a CAC member. Number two, the demand for family size units. So again, the proposed solution to that is to make sure that criteria will be included in upcoming requests for proposals that come out of the CRA. And then another theme is the desire for ongoing updates. So again, our proposed solution for that is to make sure that we could update the projects on our website and then ensure that we have that on a GIS mapping page that would be coming out in the near future. So as I mentioned, the topic of conversation has been our unit creation and conversion program. So our initial proposed process was to have that formalized application cycle, have a selection committee to guide that defining criteria. So again, it creates a transparent evaluation criteria. It identifies some scoring criteria. So this is what was proposed. We launched a survey, which then gave us more information to have a 2-cycle period and then make sure we have a 5-person selection committee. So some of the timelines and next steps, and some of these will, the timeline will change, being that some things did get pushed back. But the next steps is to make sure we incorporate those survey results, collect CAC feedback and community impact, and then propose a final process. So we have to develop a final program document to include the application and the evaluation criteria, the funding cycle timelines and eligibility thresholds. And then in January, we were supposed to go back to the board, but that has been pushed back to March, being that we had other pressing issues and we still are going through legal review. So this was a proposed timeline at that first to have the primary funding cycle open around February, but it'll be probably more so into our mid-year or beginning of fiscal year FY27, being that we already identified some projects that already are funded for this year in certain areas. So that is all of the presentation. Any questions that you have? I know that Tampa Heights has a small budget, being that, you know, a good percentage of your dollars go to the CDD, which has been created about 74%. So that leaves a little bit of wiggle room for any attainable housing options, but that doesn't mean that you guys are just out of it completely. What I was looking to do in the near future is kind of extract some addresses within the area, market specific to maybe some houses that do need some tender love and care. And then we could offer them some HRP dollars, as well as seeing whoever wants to purchase any type of condos or housing within the area as well, that we could provide them some down payment assistance to move forward with that purchase. Any questions? I know I said a lot.
I know you just said it, but I already forgot. When do you expect, I guess, with the new timeline of the first funding cycle to open?
More than likely it's going to be beginning of fiscal year, so it'll probably be October.
Oh, yeah, because ends in September, right? The fiscal
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, it ends, this fiscal year ends September, correct? And then our new FY 27 begins October 1st. Because it is becoming more of a back and forth conversation with the council. They want us to make sure that we're covering all our tracks, making sure that we are incorporating a good process. Before it was a first come, first serve, meaning an individual just come in, obtain a consultation with us, pitch their project. We look at our budget. If it's within our budget, we can go ahead and then counter offer with them based off of what they need to construct that unit. So we did have I developed a matrix, which is per unit, per area median income. And then what could be the max that we could provide that developer to build that unit. But that was becoming an issue per se, because the developers come in asking for all the money. And then you can't just tell them like, hey, we have other projects, because they only care about their project. So it then turned into that whole fiasco. So I had to stop it, come back and say, all right, now it's just not me. We have this 5-member committee they're gonna score you on the project, and then you still have to go through the CAC. So if there's a project, the CAC still gets a presentation, so you guys can kind of ask questions and all of that, and then get feedback from that committee, and then it moves on to the CRA board to approve. At the end is always the CRA board that says yes or no.
How long do you think the process is? Like in October, if multiple groups submit to get approval from that point?
So good question. The process will be done. It could be done up to 60, like it could take up to 60 days. And that's depending on the calendar. For example, they come in, let's say we give them about 30 to 45 days. It does depend on how many proposals I get. I'm able to see on my end how many proposals I get. For example, if I have $500,000, and that's very low, but if I have $500,000, I put it out in a request for proposal, and I say I'm looking for projects in the area, new construction, single family, rental, whatever I'm looking for in that RFP. Sometimes there's a lot of developers waiting, and they'll say, okay, we have it. I have like about 10 proposals. I could shut it down right at 30 days. But sometimes I'm like, hey, no one submitted. So I might have to retract this, put it out to the community, and see what comes out of it. So the process itself takes 60 days. Now, we'll say the longest part of it is the creation of the developers agreement. We're working on creating a template, but once it goes to that person's lawyer, they'll start, negotiating with that. We still have to put it on CRA board agenda and consent agenda, and then the CRA council consent agenda. So it could take possibly up to 4 months or 6 months to go through the entire process.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I have a question. In terms of, I know that right now when anyone goes through the application process for development, they have to wait until they have approval before they go to permit. I've heard a lot of talk about this and that it is setting back timelines and ending up costing some of the smaller developers or owners quite a bit of money just because of the length of time that takes between approval and permit, and that you know, a lot of times you'll see those kind of done simultaneously, and it would,
Yeah.
you know, and so I'm wondering, will this new process address some of that?
So I would say I don't have a crystal ball, so I will hope that it does. To answer your question, we provide an expedited permitting letter to these developers to kind of push them up to the top of the list. So they know, hey, this is affordable housing. They're on a timeline. We need this quickly, because right now, and it's been the mayor's initiative and the board initiative that affordable housing is number one. But yes, they do get, you know, permitting, it does take a while, right? But with that expedited permitting letter, it does help. Now, prior to that, I can give them an award letter that also helps with the pre-site stuff. So it helps them secure the rest of their financing, or, you know, solidify with their other funders that, yes, we have 2.5 million from the CRA. We can move forward with this. That and the expedited permitting letter should kind of help with that little gap that we're facing. You know, we do have a project team that'll push it forward on our side to kind of say, hey, we're looking for updates with these projects. But yeah, it's just depending on, you know, the order it comes in. But the affordable housing does get pushed on top, because speaking from my rehab program, those are top. Like, they get put as soon as I close with that person for that assistance. I'm giving that contractor 3 days after, you know, the right to rescission period, that expedited permitting letter, and they're going to the permitting department, and I get an email on each permit that's pulled from each one of the projects. So again, I can see on my side if whatever the developer's not doing, so we can kind of say, hey, you know, you still have to pay fees. Hey, they're looking for a site improvement plan. Hey, they need you to do X, Y, and Z. So we're kind of approaching it all from different sides, if that makes sense.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you for the presentation, B.
Okay, you guys have a good night and stay warm out there.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Alrighty,
Thank
thank you.
Bye,
All
B.
right. Bye.
The staff reports.
Yeah, listen, I just have your track record that we went over last night. So still your arts sculptures for the roundabouts are still moving ahead, and you're on that selection. Yeah, so it'll be in February
11.
11th, okay. Yeah, and so
Do we have any idea of submissions or anything at this point? Or-
we haven't seen them.
There was 155 submissions. So the first, then we had to cut that down. So obviously that took a long time. I think it was like 4 hours. Probably about 15 of them were either didn't read the RFP, or like they just submit whenever they see an RFP and they're on mural list. So they're thrown out right away. But the rest we had to go one by one, and they submit their portfolio, and then we just go through what they submitted to see like the quality of their past work, and then just rank them. And so that's been whittled down to 30 or 35 artists now. And so February 11th, we're going to meet again and whittle that down to, I think, 3 to 5, or it might be just 3. So that's going to be tough out of the 30.
I guess just a little bit.
I know, so then those 3, or it depends, like if it's really close, then they might, Corey said they might open it up to 5. And then I think each one of those gets some type of funding for them to put together a full proposal for the actual site. Because right now we're just looking at their portfolio of past work. And so they'll get some type of minor funding to be able to come down and see the sites and figure out an exact proposal they're going to do. And requesting for them to propose for both roundabouts. So see like if they can tie it together or individually, depending. So this is open to both. And then once their presentations are ready, then there'll be the public open house. I think that's the correct process for everyone to come in and give the feedback of the actual installations that would be there. And then from there, I think it's just what was the most popular?
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta ask Cory. I think that's
Yeah,
it's basically just the public feedback from that point.
I thought there was.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think it's after that open house, and then
Yeah,
once they get all the public feedback, and then they decide.
yeah, I think that would be final. Sierra board. after the public comment.
Did you like what you saw in the?
There were, I think like this, because we all have different tastes, but like for me, there's probably like 10 really good ones that have done like large scale stuff in other major cities like Miami and Philadelphia or Chicago and stuff. A lot of it is, the odd thing is a lot of the people submitting were West Coast artists. So a lot of their stuff is geared towards like desert type sculptures or even like California and that, which doesn't work here. So it's interesting how
Material wise too, like the materials that they typically would use West Coast versus East Coast are very different in
humidity
terms
and
of
everything.
how,
I think
yeah.
they like good in the heat.
Our sun and salty air would eat away at nearly everything.
Yeah, but there are a handful of really
Yeah.
qualified ones I thought. So we'll see after February 11th. It gets whittled down again.
Yep, little by little. Oh, we had on the agenda. Sorry, it was a short agenda.
That is it. Any new business from anyone? Announcements?
Meetings. Just to a different place. I think it took 30 minutes to get here. It's so hard to find parking. I don't know if that's.
Yeah, I have the same issue.
Megan has to like work
It's
from home on
terrible,
these
and then-
meetings.
There's no parking, and I went to the parking deck and there's an event, so it's $25 and,
I'm just mentioning it again because I'm up from Armature Works. It took 35 minutes to get here. So if there's a lightning game and this protest and stuff going on, like. Again, if we had a place. So are we all live in the Heights? Does everyone else have their meetings where their jurisdiction is, I guess I should say?
Just trying to think where you could even have it.
I can check to see if we can do it at the firm, but I think that's probably fine. I just want to I don't want to like push it on anybody. I want to make sure everybody is okay with it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, obviously, this is just once a month,
Yeah.
we'll deal with it. If it's not an issue, but I just didn't know if we were, because I know our neighborhood people were having a hard time. But
well, and I would bet at an arbitrary bus.
I don't know.
well, the problem is we have the set meeting, so if they have something in show and tell or
Yeah.
something that night, then they can't, you know what I mean? And I know ours is set, so.
I know they did meet, I know Jeff, his partner at the firm they've done meetings he was on the board before, he was on the committee before, they did meetings at our office, and I don't think it would be an issue.
So we used to have it there, but I think like the last 3 meetings, something, I think they started leasing out their parking lot after hours to 717. And so like you just get taxed.
Are you talking about at Bush Ross?
Yeah,
They've always leased it out to, the Eulalie.
oh, okay,
The Eulalie.
Yeah.
LA guys that park the cars in there.
okay,
But it usually doesn't get too busy
yeah,
by 5:30.
Oh.
Usually later in the night, should be able to leave, so.
Well, just an idea, only if it's good for everyone. I agree. If it's not, we'll deal with it. It's fine. But I just figured if everyone lives there and is there,
Yeah, I don't know, I mean, obviously, we have technology abilities, but,
I guess when it's,
I would always have to take risks, take some equipment.
yeah,
when it's hockey season over. That's really like factoring.
Could go all the way into like May.
I was getting, yeah, I'm like, we hope not till June, but.
I don't know what their schedule is like, but then you get concerts and stuff too, so.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this is not great for having a meeting and trying to listen to either.
Yeah, I don't know how long that's gonna continue.
Where does like the other Sierra, I know Channel District, do they still do it at the Port Authority?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't want to move downtown, so they're at the Port Authority.
But they have more like attendance, don't they? Like of residents and stuff?
Yeah,
Okay,
probably a little bit more.
Yeah.
Participation. And then, Central Park needs it on board, because they have all the equipment already. and it's
Yeah.
Plug and play, so that's nice, Central Park. And then, downtown needs here.
are we allowed to meet in Central Park, or is that, you can't like use there, or would they even allow another Sierra to use it?
Possibly, like that.
Where's that?
It's a theater room. It's just a small, like, theater room that we
Yeah.
meet in.
It's more just if everything's already set up, so that you don't have to carry all that stuff, and half the time it doesn't work. Just because it's small.
It's by Mighty Fine, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Or, yeah,
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 that's way closer too, yeah.
and there's not nearly as many parking issues over
Yeah,
there.
the parking should be fine.
yeah,
I actually have Central Park tomorrow, so I can ask.
okay. See,
To see if it's open. I won't commit to anything, but
that's the only public place I can think of that, because there's nothing in Tampa Heights.
Maybe we've just identified a problem.
it should be my meeting space.
Need a communities.
Okay, was there anything else? Right? 16th is PM. I'll be meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thanks, sorry to be late.
Yeah, so sorry to be late.
I didn't know about the protests.
I didn't
I'm
even
not a
check
hockey
the
fan,
game.
so-
Yeah, I didn't either until I started driving and saw the jerseys and I was like, well. It's like,
Yeah.
that's a hockey game.
That's how I know. Which I haven't seen any today, so I just didn't realize it.
Have a good night.
All right, thank you. Yes. Thanks for making your way here.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, sorry for being
Oh,
late.
you're
Yeah,
fine, you're
I'm so
fine.
sorry.
It all worked out.
I don't like to be like that.
Oh, I think.
I'm gonna shut down this equipment.
You know, some days are worse than others. It just depends.
Yeah.
I usually make my way from USF, and so I'm like, that one's like, forget it. I have to leave really early because who knows what's gonna happen on Fowler.
I know, exactly, yeah. And this is just always a random.
Well, that one's random, yeah.
Protest.
Never know.
Yeah.